Okay, I'm going to look down here right next to you over here. There's a fellow Islander. Oh. No, you got your girlfriend, called on. That's good.
Half a day, President Obama. My name is Sheila Babauta. I'm from the Mariana Islands. My question for you is regarding the military presence in the Pacific Islands. With the relocation of troops from Okinawa to Guam, there is major impact to come for the Mariana Islands, and it is very serious. Although we are a very patriotic community with one of the highest per capita of enlisted servicemen and women, we have died and fought in U.S. wars. We also value our culture, our community, and our natural resources, but we feel like we're at the table with Goliath. How does one prepare to negotiate and encourage Goliath to come to the table where we can foster cooperation and coexistence to support national security while preserving our culture and conserving our natural resources?
Yeah. Well, it's a great question. It's a great question. Since I'm no longer commander-in-chief, I can't just say, "Come on, let's go talk." And I'm now out of date in terms of all the processes and procedures that are taking place. What I think is true, and this is not unique to the United States, I think this is true for a lot of countries that have a large military infrastructure, is that the military often is not as mindful as it needs to be about its impacts on the surrounding community. Look, in Hawaii, we still have a whole set of issues around the military presence and training, and how does that affect surrounding communities. A general rule when dealing with organizations or institutions that are bigger and more powerful than you is you've got to bring attention to the issue so that you get allies, right? I think the average person in the United States is not aware of some of the impacts that base relocations may have on local communities. So one of your first jobs is to raise awareness. And hopefully some of the tools that you've been learning in these workshops have taught you how to do that. If not, then we'll get some stuff online. But the power of the underdog in society, first and foremost, is to be able to mobilize public opinion. Since you don't have the ability to just impose your will on someone, you have to get allies, right? I mean, that's what happened in the civil rights movement. Right? You had TV cameras showing people with dogs and fire hoses directed at peaceful marchers, which started changing attitudes, which in turn led the federal government to start taking different steps. I think as you are raising awareness, I think it's important also, and again, I assume that some of this has been covered in some of our workshops. If not, we got to get it online. You have to know what it is that you want and what's realistic. And you also have to make sure that your own group, you've worked out your differences in terms of what you want. Because my suspicion would be that even among islanders, there are some different views. Some people would say, "Oh, come on, because we think there's going to be more business, or there's going to be more economic development, or what have you." And there are others who say, "We don't want this." And if you have those divisions and your agenda is unclear, then it will be harder for you to be able, in a unified voice, to project and tell a story that gives you some allies and gives you leverage. So your primary tool is going to be initially to raise awareness, but that means you also have to have done some work internally so that you know both what your basic stand is there, and by the way, when I say unity, it doesn't mean you're going to get 100%. There's always going to be somebody who's hustling somewhere. But it does mean if you've got your basic group agreeing to a basic set of demands, you have to know what those are going into it, and they have to probably be realistic enough that they're achievable. Right? Because if you just say no to everything, but even by the way you presented yourself just now, I can tell that you've been thinking about this, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of guidance or encouragement. All right.